Basically, if you look at the way a lot of these bonds were structured, they were anticipated an average decline in cigarette usage of about 3% a year. Suddenly, with e-cigarettes, we've gone above that. So it's more of a decline even than government bargained for.
But you're still saying, Lee Munson, do not count big tobacco out. You actually made quite a lot of money in not counting big tobacco out, right? Lee?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the last, what was the best performing stock from last half of the last century? That was Philip Morris. And the reason why is always a value stock, is always being beaten up. What we're concerned about today is big tobacco going to Eastman Kodak themselves, meaning Eastman Kodak was in denial of digital photography. Big tobacco is not in denial of e-cigs. So as an investor, I wouldn't count the bonds out. And also from the stock position, this is the time where you make your money, where there's a lot of uncertainty, there's value out there, and you buy it before we have confirmation that big tobacco figured out how to get their hands on e-cig profits.
Yeah, so Stephen, the expectation is obviously e-cig taxes are coming as well. Pretty much everybody we've talked to says it's a matter of time. Do you believe those tobacco bond revenues ultimately are safe? Because people probably hate big tobacco, but guess what? It also pays for a lot of government services, believe it or not, on the back end.
Well, yes. Well, the thing is, I don't know about safe. Just a couple of years ago in 2007, when a bunch of states put out new bonds, they used projections from Global Insights. That projection was that cigarette sales would only decline 1.8% a year. The problem is these bonds are very long term, and it is a risk trying to predict. If you can get in and out of these things, if there's a market to get in at a low price and get out at a low price, you might be safe. But, this is a very uncertain market right now, and it's one thing to buy their stock. It's another thing to invest for, let's say, a decade or more in their bonds.
So, Lee, considering, to Brian's point, that states need the money, is there any chance that the e-cigarettes are going to be taxed as well? Taxed like tobacco is?
Oh, please. I mean, they're taxing marijuana in Colorado. Those states need these revenues and need these bonds to work out, period. They're going to figure out how to tax those e-cigs, and that's where you're going to get the industry consolidation. You think Philip Morris understands how to deal with bureaucracy and lobbyists? Yes, they do. So if you're doing e-cigs and all of a sudden there's a tax and it's going to be regulated, you're going to sell to the big tobacco. Big tobacco is going to work out. Remember, the reason you want to be in these things now is because there is that uncertainty. Uncertainty is where you find value, and value is where you get higher expected returns. You have to take the risk.